As we return to getting up to speed, our next guest was runner-up in 2022 with the NARC Jiu-Jitsu General Series. Now calling Colfax, California home, it's Willie Croft, and Willie will be talking about his upcoming schedule, as well as his son Cole's go-kart schedule, and some fun things he likes to do in the off-season. Hello, I'm Ben Dethridge, and I'm the host of Getting Up to Speed. We talk to sprint car drivers from the Pacific Coast, whether they race in Oregon, Washington, California. If they run it, we're going to talk about it. Also branch out a little bit, as well as drivers that perhaps are from here that race elsewhere, or some drivers that come in and try and take some money from the West Coast. In these episodes, we talk about past experience, past seasons, as well as upcoming races, as well as how's the season going. We hope you enjoy these episodes. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps us out. And stay tuned for more and more content. Now let's get into the interview. Well, he's on the phone now. It is Willie Croft, now calling, it throws me off, Colfax, California home. I was so used to Roseville for so many years, but Willie, great to have you on.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, we'll just dive right into it. 2020. Oh, by the way, Willie knows this, but we want to give you a disclaimer. If you hear a loud noise in the background, it's 1-year-old Grant. He's poking about. It's Mr. Mom detail here. So if you hear a crash, a bang, or a cry, don't worry. It's just him. But no one's breaking into my house. But anyways, 2022. Pretty good year for you. Runner-up in the NARC Jiu-Jitsu General Series points. You had one win with the series at Willamette Speedway in Lebanon, Oregon. 4 podiums, 7 top 5s, 12 top 10s, 24 starts, and 4 10s overall and 3 60s. Didn't run too much 360 stuff. Like I had you down for 8 feature starts, 5 top 10s, and 2 top 5s. Your personal rating of 2022 and how it all went.
Personal rating, I don't know. Honestly, probably C+, B-, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really keep tabs or stats. Obviously you remember your wins and
sure,
the ones that you maybe should have won. But, 12 top 10s and 24 starts to me is not that good.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until you just said it. So, that's kind of disappointing to me. But we had an okay year. I mean, it was, we had speed at times. The one thing I really wanted to work on was being more consistent, no DNFs.
Mm-hmm.
And we did that for the most part until the last really 2 races of the NARC, schedule. So, I improved on that. I think I lacked a little bit in qualifying this year. I feel like the races I run next year, I got to get my qualifying efforts better. Especially with the new format and whatnot, you want to be fast time or second or third in your group. Don't want to be fourth, don't want to be fifth. So get that a little bit better. Get me in the dash, races a little bit more, which, is obviously going to help starting towards the front more. These races are tough. I mean, the competition's super tough, and you gotta have like your A game from basically qualifying on, obviously. So I got more work to do for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the NARC series has always been tough, but it seems like it's been super tough, especially last year. I want to think, and correct me if I'm wrong, like going into the month of October, you were sitting about 5th or so. And then all of a sudden, they had just a whole slew of races in a small period of time, in a few matter of weeks. And then you were able to just kind of chip your way up the table.
Yeah, for sure. I felt like we got off to a slow start. I actually went back to a similar car I had ran for, I don't know, probably 5 or 6, 7 years in a row. I kind of got away from them, just trying different things. It's good or bad. It's something I've always done. I've always liked to try different things. Got back on to something I was really familiar with this in 22. Took a little while to get there, but once I got there, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is the feeling I remember, and this is what I used to do or whatnot. Because I do set my own car up. So I don't know. I feel like it's a disadvantage at times. trying to, focus on your race night and trying to focus on the track and make decisions, and caught myself, doing a lot of other things too. My crew was, limited at times and whatnot. So, it's pretty tough. But yeah, these, nights where we went, back to back and, for 3 or 4 or 5 weeks consistently racing with the 410 series, I built some momentum up, especially on the fastest 4 days of the Speed Week deal last year. I mean, we clicked off some podiums, I think, all the way through up till Elma. Didn't run too well at Elma in my mind. We were finding some heating problems. But yeah, and then we had the break for Knoxville and whatnot, and that was probably the worst thing for myself and my team is that break. Just we got back going 3 weeks and almost like a month later, and I just felt like all my momentum was gone, and it wasn't the same vibe. I don't like the big break. They got it again this year for whatever reasons, but but I'm not a point racer this coming season. I'm limited on the point races through the KWS or anywhere really. I'm just going to be a hit and miss type of deal. I really want to work around my son's schedule, which I'm putting together right now with his kart racing schedule, and then try to fill me in with the other stuff. So I'm really focused on the races that are going to pay better to start and pay better to finish. I feel like the cost of racing, as we all know, isn't going down by any means. It's only going up every year, and I gotta race the things that are going to make financial sense, if there is any sense in this, for myself. So yeah, I'm up against the wall on a lot of things. Unfortunately, my longtime partner in this deal, Dave Wozni with Holy Smokes Barbecue, he passed away about 4 months ago. He had some health issues when we were in for about 4 or 5 years, and like I said, unfortunately, he passed, and that really just puts all the financial stuff in my lap. So maybe this is this whole thing with my son coming up and him starting to race more and me starting to back off a little bit is what I need. So
sure, a little bit of a gear change. Yeah, your son Cole, you were telling me he's moving up to 250s, and you guys are you going to be trying to hit some of that? Speaking of big breaks, Red Bluff is going to be coming out of their break here in a couple of weeks. But are you guys going to try and hit that, or just wait till the spring for Cycle Land?
We are going to try to hit a couple of those. We actually picked up his race engine today. We had been racing the 250 races we did run were with an older engine, carbureted engine, and I feel like at some places it's probably okay, not the best, but when we went to Roseburg, I don't know, it's probably been a few months ago now, kind of just really noticed the difference. And Cole and I got in the truck to come home. It was only him and I on the trip, and we got in the truck to come home, and one of his buddies who won the race, he started when Cole did, and Cole just kind of looked at me. He's like, "Man, Dad," he's like, I feel like we need more engine. And I'm like, I already knew before we even left the place that, yeah, we're going to have to do something different here. So yeah, we've picked up a brand new race engine, and we sent it up to Steve Copeland out of Reading and had him get it race ready for us. And we actually get to pick it up today, which is pretty exciting. And so, yeah, I think we'll be ready for some of these Red Bluff races. As much as, honestly, I don't care for Red Bluff and my son doesn't care for it, we got to kind of just look the other way, because we need to get lap time, and he needs the lap time. I need to be working, on the car. They're not like a sprint car, so there's still a lot of learning for myself.
Sure.
But laps are laps for him. Tight racing, a lot of crashing. So, and that's really why we don't like going there, is just the amount of quality laps. I don't feel like he gets. There's some kids that go up there and race really good. We just haven't been that lucky. So, So yeah, no, we're excited for that. And then, yeah, really looking at the Cyclone Speedway, schedule.
Yeah, no, that sounds exciting. I mean, it's really cool. I mean, how much enjoyment do you get? I mean, it's fun to go race, right? It's fun to be on the road. It's fun to win in a sprint car, but how is it more enjoyable to spend time with your son and make those memories and develop him as a smart and intelligent driver?
It is. I mean, so the last couple of years, I had been racing and he was racing on the same nights. And I just, kind of would catch myself a little bit losing focus on my own stuff because I'm like glued to my phone, whether it's talking with my wife or texting with her or looking at the race monitor and whatnot. I'm sitting there looking at it. He's leading this, this race 2 years ago, I remember, and they're calling me up for my main event. And I'm like so late getting in the car because I'm like trying to see if he wins or not.
Sure.
I got in the car without really knowing and came back in after my main and seeing that he had won. Which is really cool, but I'm like, man, I really wanted to be there, for that. And
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, being there and, watching Cole develop as a driver and, and as a clean driver, obviously they're kids, they're going to make mistakes and whatnot, but he knows for sure that he's not going to go in there and wipe somebody out, because he won't race the next weekend. I won't let him.
Yeah.
So he's going to, he's learning with discipline. He's doing a good job with it. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I was there for his first win, thank gosh. And I was there for another win in the box stock at Cycleland. And but the 250s, man, they're the box stocks are cool, but the 250s is just like going from a 305 to a 410 in my mind. With the speed I'm watching these kids do at their age and their stature and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. It's definitely nerve wracking, but I feel like I'm way more nervous at his races, especially when he's lining up for his main, than I've ever gotten in a sprint car. So, which is good. I like that feeling. So
sure. Yeah. Makes you feel mortal a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Last year, even to highlight some stuff from last year, your 4 podiums were all at 4 different racetracks. Willamette Speedway, obviously, where you won last year during the 4 fastest days in motorsports. Ocean Speedway in Watsonville, Petaluma Speedway, and Southern Oregon Speedway. You mentioned the good run up in the Northwest, and you had two podiums there. Yeah, it kind of just shows. I mean, all different racetracks, of course, different driving styles.
Yeah. The quarter miles. That's pretty much what I grew up on racing from the start. We didn't get to race Calistoga much. We still don't, obviously, unfortunately. But yeah, I always, was kind of more or less raised on the quarter miles, I guess, or trained on them, or whatever you may call it. So, so to me, quarter miles are quarter miles. You have the kind of same speed, the kind of same setups, and stuff like that. So the consistency for me is, easier. Although when we did get the bigger stuff, a funny story is in 2018, we hired Wayne Pretty to come out and help us. And I told Wayne, I'm like, hey, I really, really need, I'm going to need your help big time on the bigger tracks, because at that time we were still running Calistoga. We were going to Knoxville. We were going to, we went to, what's the other one? Oski, and some other places that were a lot bigger than, what I'm used to running. And we got, we won at Calistoga, one of the Civil War races there. Or I don't remember Civil War or what it was, SCCP, but won there. And then we went, back to Oski and led a lot of laps there with the 360 and ended up on the podium, actually 2 years in a row there. So I don't know, maybe I'm not that bad on the big tracks. So just, just kind of in my mind, I just don't run them much, but I don't know. I feel like they're actually a little bit easier to race on, more or less than the Watsonville and stuff like that, the tight, slick with the big cushion, tiptoe around the bottom type of deal. So,
yeah. I mean, is it sort of just kind of like, I I don't know what the best, phrase would be, like less labor intensive. You're not sawing on the wheel as much, turn. It's more like just kind of relax, settle, getting a good rhythm here.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, yes, it is. Although if you have a really good car, and it doesn't matter if it's quarter mile, 3/8, half, it's so much easier to drive. I mean, I've had really good cars through the years, whether it was with, previous crew chiefs or me stumbling on something on my own or whatever. And it is like night and day difference when your car can lay left and make so much traction, even in the slick or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the struggle with myself. And that might be the downfall where I just don't have a consistent, I don't, Dominic Scelzi has Jimmy Carr. I'm not taking away anything from Dominic. He's a great driver, really talented. But when you have a car that handles, week in and week out, it's a big difference. Justin Sanders, he's really good with his car. He's a really good driver, but he's really good with his car as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see it, it drives really good. Shane Golovic and Dustin Golovic. I mean, these are all guys that are just, they've got good cars quite a bit and which is really, really cool to see. But myself, like I said, I need more work. I'll admit it. I need to get my car better. And, because it does make it easier, whether you're on half mile or quarter mile. I mean, it's just no doubt about it. So,
yeah. You lightly touched on it for 2023, not focusing on anything particular as far as running for a points championship or anything of that nature. But is there any specific quote unquote big races or certain events that you guys for sure have circled out, or is it still kind of a filter out process?
For myself, and I kind of have just I'm all the way through the middle of June right now. Okay. I'm literally, as we're speaking, working on schedules. But I have, the Mini Gold Cup. I will run the Saturday night portion of it, not the Friday night, just because the money. Mm-hmm. I gotta have, I have to make like my decisions on where financially it's going to be best, and going to race on a Friday night. I don't even know what's going to pay, but I know it won't be as good as Saturday. So mm-hmm. I'll hold out and just run on Saturday. So I got the Mini Gold Cup. I have the Anthony Simoni, which is 10,000 to win, the Roth Classic, which is 8,300 to win. And then I'll go down to the Tartar, the Murphy, the Bradway. And I think those are pretty much my races so far. Okay. So I'm kind of like, I'm down at the fastest 4 days in motorsports. I think I'll probably do the Friday, Saturday at Roseburg in Lebanon, mm-hmm. come back home. And I don't know, honestly, I don't know. It just depends on my financials. If I can gather some sponsorships, partnerships up, then maybe I can make it up to Dirt Cup. Otherwise, I probably won't be able to even go up to that. And also being a shop owner and operator, I really have to look at, when I can leave, because we have production work that absolutely has to be done on a weekly basis. And I can't sacrifice it. I can't put that in any type of jeopardy. And so I'm going to have to make sacrifices. So
yeah,
as far as Dirt Cup, I'm not sure yet. That's where I'm at on my schedule, as far as putting it together, and just gotta see what happens here. We're working on some marketing things right now for myself, with Natalie Sather, and I, and trying to gather some stuff up. Hopefully we can do something to make it to where I actually can make it to some of these other races as well.
Yeah, no doubt. Maybe somebody will be listening and shoot you a message, anonymous donor.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, the funny thing is, through my career, I haven't really reached out to many people. Mm-hmm. I reached out after 2019 season when Kevin Kozlowski and I split our partnership. I reached out to like a Kevin Redeen, who, thankfully has helped me over the last several years. Not sure what this year will bring, if anything. He's got so many irons in the fire in other places and whatnot. Any help I've ever gotten from him has been, more or less probably because he likes me.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Which is a good thing.
yeah, no, he's a great guy. Everything he does is, top notch, and proud to, have actually call him a friend and someone I drove for. But yeah, and I reached out to like the Clyde Lamar and stuff like that. But other than that, the Kevin Kozlowski, the Dave Wozny, holy smokes, some of these other partners I've had for long-term partners, they came up to me and approached me just because, all in all, I'm super shy. I'm a really shy, and I have a hard time, asking for someone for any type of sponsorship. But this day and age, it makes it a little easier, trying to maybe do something on the Instagram and Twitter and also through email, just sending proposals out, and don't get me wrong, I'll go knock on some doors too. I'm pretty desperate. So I'm definitely winding down in my racing career, and I still want to fit in some races where I can, obviously, like we've been saying with Cole, in between Cole's schedules. So in order to do so, I'm going to have to try to find that help.
Yeah. Yeah. And no doubt with Cole moving up to a bigger class, it costs a little bit more money. And yeah, it's just kind of one of those natural things.
Yeah, for sure. We bought tires, and I could not, I about fell over when I got the bill. I'm like, man, these tires are like an eighth of the size of what we run, but only half the cost. Sure. So it's like, what is going on here? Yeah. So, but
yeah,
anyhow.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. And then I remember catching up with you at Medford, Southern Oregon, and like still Roseville. No, we moved recently to Colfax. And how's that adjustment been?
At first, it was a little in Colfax. Well, where we were at in Colfax, we're on, property, a lot of pine trees, stuff like that. So it is so quiet here. And that first moving here, it was kind of like, oh man, who's watching me? What's watching me? Type of thing. It's pitch dark. But I wouldn't change it for the world. I mean, we absolutely love it here. Small town. We don't even have a stoplight in our town.
Wow.
Coming from Roseville, you have all the amenities, all the restaurants and conveniences and whatnot, but I don't miss it. I don't miss the rat race of traffic or anything like that. And we're just, we're up here. Like I said, we're on our acreage. It's quiet. All the neighbors near us are, they all have their acreage as well. So yeah, we got, I love it. I mean, it's a little bit harder to get to the races, as far as, going up and down the hill. It adds 45 minutes from my probably last place of residence, but it's all good. I mean, I don't see us moving anywhere else. So we love it.
Yeah. And for listeners maybe from the Midwest or the East Coast that don't know exactly where some of these places are, Roseville is Sacramento area, like in a suburb of Sacramento, the capital of California. Colfax is up in the Sierras. What is it? I-80? I'm trying to think.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I-80. Yep. So like, the Transcontinental Railroad, gorgeous country.
Yes, for sure. Took the kid to get snowboarding lessons 2 weeks ago, and it took us about 35 minutes to get to the resort. So that's pretty cool.
I'm trying to think, what's the big one? Boreal?
Boreal's not really big, although we did get the lessons there because they had, we researched, they had the good trainers and whatnot. And Boreal is where we'll get our season passes because they're open till 8 at night. So I can come home, swoop up the kid, and go up the hill and snowboard, during the evenings.
Nice.
So. But yeah, the bigger ones, you got Squaw Valley, North Star, stuff like that are all up on the 80 side.
Sure. Well, and that was going to kind of be my next question was, stuff you do away from racing during the off season. Apparently snowboarding is one of them, and I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I've been snowboarding. I grew up, I believe 6th grade or so, I started skateboarding. And I got into skateboarding all the way through even after high school. Probably about a year or two after high school, I kind of tapered out, I kind of got back involved with, I went to the sprint car races as a kid, stood in the stands. But I think it was a year after I graduated or my senior year, I met a guy that actually kept a car at my buddy's house by the name of Rick Hurst, and it's not my father-in-law; it's a different Rick Hurst.
Okay.
And so I kind of met with him and kind of, found myself wanting to be more around the race car stuff. So I got out of skateboarding and started going to the races on the weekend, helping him. And then from there, that's kind of where my whole path of sprint car racing came along. That's when I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. I started my racing career on, I think I was making about $15 an hour, which is really good back in, those days, I guess.
Yeah.
But I worked all the overtime I could, got the profit sharing checks, bigger for the overtime I was putting in and whatnot, and kind of just went from there. Had a lot of help, from a Michael Alcina and whatnot, and on my first car and trailer and engine. But yeah, no, I knew that's what I wanted to do. So, but yeah, it's been good.
Awesome. And then for folks, when the schedule comes out, is there a good place that they can find that? Or perhaps if you have like an apparel release or team news, is there any good outlets there for fans to check out?
Yeah, we'll once we get the schedule printed, we're going to put it on a poster type thing and put it on Instagram. I'll have it on Twitter. They can go to williecroftracing.com and see it there.
Okay.
I'm going to try to be a little bit better on my upcoming races through social media. It's a little bit, hard at times, but I'm going to definitely take the time and try to be better at it and try to get my car maintenance and get it loaded and get down the road. So,
sure.
I do it all here, by myself at the house. So that's the bad thing about moving to Colfax is I kind of moved away from any potential crew guys coming up. They would probably come, but honestly, I feel bad for them driving all the way up, on their evenings when they got to turn around and be at work in the morning. So I don't ask. I just do it myself.
Yeah. One man band now, but
yes, it is.
But, I'd like to give you just the platform here for a little bit. Any individuals you want to thank, family members, crew members, sponsors that are on board so far for 2023, just to give them a shout out.
Yeah, for sure. I talked to Ben Walker yesterday. He's back on board with Walker Filters. Mario Novelli, who does all my paint work on the car. He's currently doing a body right now as we speak. So really grateful for him. FK Rod Ends with Maria with all of my rod end supply. FK Shocks. I still get help from Willie. Brent Kading at Kading's Performance with SEI as well. Joe's Racing Products. Simpson. So yeah, I know I'm missing some people, but Hanson Machine, Scotty McMillan with Hanson Machine. Yeah, like I said, I know I'm going to be missing people, but I have a lot of my return guys that really help me out. Even if it's not really anything real huge, it actually feels huge to a small team like me. So I really appreciate all the help from everybody I have. My family, obviously, for their support. And yeah, I mean, and some of my friends are just, pick up the phone anytime I call when I have questions regarding race questions or whatever. So,
yeah, no doubt. That's awesome. And looking forward to 2023. Hopefully you'll be able to make it up to Dirt Cup, but looking forward to see you when you come up to Oregon or when I'm down there, taking in some shows. So.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds great. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you more than what's on my schedule so far, but yeah.
Oh, and I'll see you at Red Bluff too. So
yeah, for sure.
In one form or the other. So
Yep. We'll be there.
Awesome. So. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're super busy and you guys got a big day today. You got to pick up your 250. So I'm not going to hold you up, but I truly appreciate it, Willie. And hopefully everything goes good.
Yeah, I appreciate the phone call and thank you. Thanks for everybody who actually takes the time and listens to the interviews. They're awesome.
Awesome. Thank you. And Grant says hello. He didn't destroy anything.
I hear him back there.
So
you're good.
The only thing he destroyed was the living room. His toys are all over the place, but yeah, so
that's normal.
Yeah, exactly. So, but
all right.
Well,
tell him I said hi.
I will. Take care and see you soon.
Thank you. Thanks, Ben. Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to this latest episode of Getting Up to Speed with me, Ben Dethridge. We hope you enjoyed this program. We hope also that you hit the subscribe button and the like button, as that really helps things out, spreads things out. Be sure and share as well on social media so that more people can listen to these great interviews and from these great drivers. Getting Up to Speed is a production of Highside Racing Promotions. For more information, you can check it all out on Facebook at Highside Promotions.